What's up, guys? Today we're starting off the day strong. I'm meeting up with Noel. We're gonna go get some tacos at good old Gringos Locos by UCF. There seems to be something going on over there. I don't know. There's a lot of people gathered. Hopefully they're not eating tacos. It's gonna be the longest line ever. But let's see what we got. Aha. There's no parking. Like always, as expected of UCF, everybody's here at the same time. You can go ahead. Alright, made it to Gringos Locos. Got a parking like right in front of it. So handy. Perfect. Noel was already waiting for me. I'm sorry. Here I am trying to watch my girly figure with ginger ale and 2 small double D's. And Noel got all of that. And then Pedro got all of that. Really? Yeah. Come on, guys. Alright, guys, so in today's video, we're gonna be working on the fuel system. I already finished the steering shaft installation yesterday, and then today I have to remove all my stock fuel system components. I mean, fuel row, pump, lines, hard lines, everything's coming off. I'm gonna replace it with the Deatschwerks and Nuke Performance products, and also BIGBOOST Performance lines. And then we're gonna make this car finally hit 500 horsepower after I'm done with all this and get it retuned. I still have the car how I left it last night, so throttle body's still out, kind of like gives me a little bit more work room over here. Then you can see how the stock fuel rail is just this little like rectangle thing, and it got this little tiny fittings inlet and outlet, and it also has a built-in regulator all the way on the back, which I have to remove this thing to gain some access back there. And then the fuel filter is all the way over there by the block. That's also coming out. I'm gonna use the Deatschwerks fuel filter all the way in the trunk. Then moving on back here, I already chose where I want to install my Nuke Performance surge tank. So it's gonna pretty much go there. I already covered that. I also want to put the lines pretty much right around here with bulkhead fittings. And then I also have the stock fuel pump things already uncovered. So the thing about this car, the fuel pump is on that side, right, which is behind the passenger side, and it has a feed. Then the other fitting is a crossover line to the other side, which is that thicker line, and then the fuel return is on that side. So that means I have to run a line feed from the pump to the surge tank, and then from the surge tank back into that thinner hose on the tank, and then return from the engine, and then feed from surge tank to the engine as well. So it's 4 hoses that go connected to it. So it's gonna be a lot of work on trying to fit all these lines in there. Oh, before I forget, let's cut this stud off from the stock spare tire before I forget, and before I remove any fuel lines, that way it reduces the chances of spark. Alright, I got the wiper cowl removed. Now we got a bunch of room. You can see that the stock BMW fuel rail has a little regulator right down here. So I gotta take this hose off, then this hose off, the 2 little 10mm or 11mm bolts that hold the fuel rail, and then I can just then unclip the injector plugs and it's out. I'll probably have Noel filming with this so I can show you guys how it is. Of course it has to be like all the way in there like this, but remove the feed line somehow. Trying to get to it, bear with me. Come on, clamp, work it. There you go. Wait, no, never mind. Let's aim it this way. Now I can loosen it more. Alright, then we got this one back here. Come on. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Horrible. And the hose won't pull, of course. Oh, there's a little bit of fuel there. Then we're gonna wiggle this one too. Get out of there, come on. You can do it. Oh, I'm still tight. I hate clamps sometimes. I'm gonna try this again. There you go. Now we take this 10mm bolts. Then we speed it up by working it by hand because it'll take forever with the ratchet. Got the one out too. Now we gently pull on this, and it's gonna bring the harness with it too. Oh, more fuel, great. Almost forgot, but there's just two 10mm nuts that hold the harness to the fuel rail that I forgot to take off. So then obviously I cannot take it off because I'll bring the whole harness with me. So kind of like odd to get to, but yeah. This is a little 1/4 inch socket. We'll get it, no problem. Also, if the nut wouldn't drop like it's doing right now, it'll be fine. Alright, where I separate it, then undo the injector clips. You'll notice that these injector clips are not like the OEM ones. I'm using EV14s. So, because I'm using Ford Performance injectors, or Ford Racing injectors actually. But unfortunately these ones don't cut to run E85 or more boost, so this is the last time I'll be using these. Last plug. Then all we got left is a vacuum hose for the regulator, and we're out. This is a stock fuel assembly right here with performance injectors. Alright, now we gotta take the fuel filter out. So I'm gonna be using a Deatschwerks inline filter that's gonna be mounted on the trunk, so I can free up all this room back here. There's two 13mm bolts that hold it in place. I'm gonna take the whole bracket off too. Next step inside the car, we are removing the fuel feed line. Come on, focus. Alright, we're removing the fuel feed line, and then also on the other side I took the skinny line out, which is a return line from the tank, which we'll also be replacing. Now we gotta focus on these lines right here. You got feed and return. We gotta take those off. We're not only gonna use those, and then afterwards we're gonna remove the hot lines all the way to the front of the car. Also already got the fuel filter disconnector right here. I'm not gonna drop it yet because it's gonna spill a lot of fuel. And then, oh, I gotta remove this plate probably to gain access. Just ease of access there. Then we're going to route the lines with this line here over the subframe all the way back to this corner over here. This is where I already marked where I'm gonna put my four fittings that are gonna come on, my focus. 4 bulkhead fittings. Focus. I'm sorry guys, it's Sunday, you know, working on Sunday doesn't already work very well for me. But I'm trying. Alright, let's go remove those lines. I like the German hose clamps. They're really nice. I might reuse these on some other stuff. Every time you get a German clamp that's still intact, save it. Is that too close, Noah? What are you doing?
Trying to get it in for effect.
Oh, let's make a bit of a mess over here. Hopefully I don't get fuel on me. I'm really not looking forward to getting fuel on me. Come on, get out of it. Oh.
Gosh.
There you go. Just let that drain for a minute. I was trying to drain the oil fuel filter, and the whole line literally just fell off. So I'm gonna show you guys how to take off the return line. Hopefully it doesn't fall on my head too. Oh really? Now you're gonna come up with the whole thing? No, just the line. So unclip it from this thing. Oh, by the way, I already moved the little plates that hold
Still got gas.
Put your finger on it. Wait, why am I getting stuck? Come on, you can do it. Really? Oh, there we go. Good hose. Oh. Alright. Alright guys, this is the factory fuel line, and this is what I'm gonna put in it now. Look at just like the big difference from the regular, I think it's 5/16 hose, and then the Dash 8 fuel line that I'm gonna be putting. So this thing literally will feed like 1,000 horsepower. That's more than enough for what we want. We just want like 550 to 600. I mean, I could have probably pushed it on the stock line, but I'm just gonna be safe and upgrade. You better be safe than sorry, and there's no problem with overbuilding something, right? We're now getting ready to install injectors on the fuel rail, but first we need to apply some super lube to the O-ring. Very important part. So we're gonna lube them up, get them ready. Nice little coat, it's fine. Then we got our fuel rail, got 6 orifices, and then we got this little plates right here that actually lock the injector in place. So I got fuel rail goes like this. I want this to be this way. Just put it in there, and then this little plate right here. Wait. A little bit, it's gonna go on the first groove. Like that. I got O-ring, then I got first groove and second groove. So I want this plate on the first groove. Goes in kind of tight, like this. Then just pretty much put it on here. And done. Alright, it's time to order the bolts. So I got these little tiny bolts right here. I'm gonna be using some Permatex blue thread locker, and then the Allen key is a 3mm Allen, and then we're just gonna put all these 12 bolts in there, so the bolts pretty much hold everything in place. The thing about why these have to be locked there and in the middle, because the fuel rail holds the injector in place. If not, it'll just fall into the intake manifold. So the intake manifold just seals with this O-ring, and then it gets held in place by the fuel rail. I'm just gonna put this little tiny bolt right here. Just put it snug because we have to align that other bolt too. I'm making a mess. It blew everywhere. And then now I can tighten it all the way, followed by cleaning up my mess. Okay, this fuel rail looks super sick now. Got all the plates, all the injectors are secure, all of them are lubed up, ready to be installed. All I got left is just to lube up the intake manifold side O-ring, so they go in easy and doesn't like wedge the O-ring in there. And then they also have this bracket kit, so I have to install this. I have to see which configuration does it go. So I'll just mock it up real quick and then I'll find out. Alright, I figured out how to put the brackets on, so they go pretty much this way, like 2 bolts on the bottom. And then I was wondering what the other 2 bolts were for, but they are to match the same hardware on the top that bolts the intake manifold. Let's go ahead and slide this thing in here. And then now I put this bolt in here. Not like hard to line them up since the holes are very tight. There we go. tighten this and the back one. We have our brand new Nuke Performance fuel rail. That thing looks sick. Yeah, I wish I didn't have the harness just running through there, because the harness pretty much just goes in here like this, so it kind of like goes with it right next to it. So it's very clean. Looks cleaner than stock, right?
It does.
The regular is all together. I ended up using Deatschwerks fittings for the return from the fuel rail and outlet back. Then I have this really cool vibrant 45-degree fitting, and then a Nuke Performance gauge. So it's gonna go pretty much right here in this little corner. You can see the 45 just has the gauge between the brake reservoir and the throttle body elbow just right perfect right there. Then I'm gonna run a 90-degree elbow for the fuel line down that connects to the other side of the fuel rail, and then this return line right here is gonna go to the flex fuel sensor right below it. Next thing I'm doing is I'm running the lines now. So I got them pretty much where I want them. I'm gonna be using the OEM clips to hold them up. I'm just using 2 for now. And they go through here, they go through here, and then I'm gonna have to put a clamp right here so they don't touch the suspension parts. Also keeping it away from the heat, they're gonna go pretty much like this. They go over the subframe out to the other side, and then I'm gonna put the bulkhead fittings like right here, pretty much like this. So it's gonna like come off from the trunk area. Wow, I'm beat. Like, it's getting pretty late. I'm tired. I'm trying to get as much done today as I can, but I got the engine bay at least pretty much sorted out without the intercooler piping, because I still need to mount the catch can later, so that's gonna be in the way for the catch can, so I'm gonna put it on now. But let me show you the engine bay. We got the cool Nuke Performance fuel rail installed. I got the Dash 8 vibrant hoses. Then I got the Deatschwerks regulator, and then I put the Nuke Performance gauge on there. Looks really cool. You see what I did here with the 45-degree vibrant performance adapter, so I can actually get the gauge pointing in the right direction so I can actually read it. TPS has been replaced. I got the flex fuel sensor hooked up. I got the adapters to run braided lines on it. So basically you got fuel feed from the pump Dash 8 to the rail. We got 6 Deatschwerks 1500cc injectors. Then I got Dash 6 return to the regulator which goes over here on the side, and then from the regulator goes down, loops around here into the flex fuel sensor, and then from the flex fuel sensor Dash 6 all the way back to a bulkhead adapter. Then that part is going to go to the trunk and then to the source tank. I mocked up the intercooler piping just so you can see the fitment on the regulator. Everything just fits flawlessly. That's why I got the line coming out the other side. Then this line is capped, and then the gauge sits right there so you can actually read it. Very nice, very, very nice. It's what the engine bay looks like with everything put back in. Super cool. Let me put some light on there. It's like really shadowy over here. I know the valve cover is hideous, the paint got ruined, but I'm probably gonna get another one powder coated. Moving back to the trunk area, I already drilled 4 pilot holes for the bulkhead fittings, which are going to be this. They're gonna just run through, that way I'm able to connect a line from this side, have an actual thing holding the fitting to the chassis, which is where this comes from, and then another fitting to the surgeon, which is gonna be sitting pretty much right here. We now got 4 perfectly drilled holes. Let's see if I did them right. There you go, perfect. All stealthy too, except the last one that I kind of changed of plans, but I didn't have another vibrant one, so I ended up using the Deatschwerks silver fitting instead on that corner. I originally was gonna do dash 8 feed and dash 8 return, but then realized I was a little bit overkill for return, so I ended up doing dash 6, but then I realized I didn't have a vibrant bulkhead dash 6 for the third fitting, so now I ended up not having one, so I'm probably gonna replace it later, but not right now. I gotta finish this build. All right, it's getting really late. I think it's time to call it a night, but I got this thing looking pretty cool. Check it out. When I had mounted a fuel filter where I want it, so this is the configuration that I want. You can see there's a little arrow on the fuel filter that it indicates the flow. On this side, it has a little magnetic thing on this side. It has a little magnetic pickup built into the filter, so filters through, pick up anything magnetic on the magnet, then it filters, goes right out here to the front of the car. And then over here I got my return from engine, then I got the feed and return from the fuel tank, which are those two outlets over there. So that one is feed, that one is return. They're all with braided E85 compatible hose. And then tomorrow I gotta mount this surge tank, I think pretty much right there. So I gotta get the correct hardware for this. I don't have any bolts to put this on there right now, so I'm gonna have to call it a night. The front is pretty much done. Oh, I gotta replace this wire. This wire looks ugly and white. I put a black wire there. Here's the pipe. Everything fits snug. I do have to install the catch can tomorrow. I got this like eBay catch can thing in there for now, which is all ugly. So tomorrow all that's gonna change and this engine bay is gonna be finished. Like the shirt says, no sleep, but Big Boost needs some sleep so I can work. You can tell my eyes, like always, the tiredness, like triple back time. So all right, gotta call it, gotta go rest, come back tomorrow strong.